Let's get to the bottom of this one. Unspoken truths that I miss one. Tap into the minds of the people, rather acknowledge before I dismiss one. Atheists, Muslim, Christians, Buddhists, they all got usage. All got perspective, it's a collective. Get to the bottom where the truth is, where the heart's uncovered. Where you detox from all of the lies you smothered. Where them tries could have killed you, but with faith you recover. Yeah, peel off the makeup, we finna take off. Never said it'd be a cakewalk. Meditate till we charged up, execute goes regardless. Decalcify my pineal. Breaking language barriers, we saw millennials. Planets passing age rotations, down me we owe. So down me we know. Sometimes we can be slow, that's why my ears open. Every drop you add could complete the ocean. Speak up, play your part too. Been vulnerable, it's so hard to reflect on all the juice like torture. It's on you, tell the truth.
Yeah, we about to have a good conversation. Yeah, let's go. We about to have a good conversation. Yeah, let's go. We about to have a good conversation. Yeah, let's go. Listen. Yeah, aim in the fit so you see in the mirror. Play with your focus and watch it get clear. Polish your crown, turn it up if you wear it. You live in the root, release what you're fearing. And watch it all rise, the righteous will hear it. They calling us twisted, I'm not even caring. Because it's unseen, the mind is too barren. They won't even heal it, they pass it to cheering. We over here healing, conversing and listening. Know that the truth isn't always appealing, but end it with healing and find your beginning. Frequency positive, what you receiving. Perception is up to you, what you believing. What you retrieving, mentally speaking. Life that they breathing, no words from a heathen. Don't know it all, but together undefeated. Conversation, rather want it, you need it. Come fill up your tank before it's depleted. Don't care if you calling on Allah, Jesus, Buddha or Christian, not being facetious. Come to the trial with the students and teachers. All got a voice, we the ears that'll listen. We the ears that'll listen. We the ears that'll listen. Conversation, rather want it, you need it. Come fill up your tank before it's depleted. Don't care if you calling on Allah, Jesus, Buddha or Christian, not being facetious. Come to the trial with the students and teachers. All got a voice, we the ears that'll listen. We the ears that'll listen. We the ears that'll listen. Hey. Yeah. We about to have a good conversation. Yeah, let's go. We about to have a good conversation. Yeah, let's go. Praying for truth cause the world is so fickle. Keeping my mental how clean as a whistle. Attention's a trap, they can lead you astray. Steering this ship through the storm and the haze. Real conversations are lost in the greed. Others get lost in the web that it weaves. Sift through the rhetoric, uncover schemes. Knowledge inherited, this is imperative. I got a lot on my mind and I'm sharing it. Apples to oranges, it ain't no comparisons. I'm the type that'll never break character. I'm the type to make memories and cherish them. Trust intuition and doubt of disparity. Pursuing the echoes of wisdom. Chasing that moment of clarity. Conversation rather one and you need it. Come fill up your tank before it's depleted. Don't care if you calling on Allah, Jesus, Buddha or Christian, not being facetious. Come to the track with the students and teachers. All got a voice, who the ears that'll listen. We the ears that'll listen. We the ears that'll listen. Conversation rather one and you need it. Come fill up your tank before it's depleted. Don't care if you calling on Allah, Jesus, Buddha or Christian, not being facetious. Come to the track with the students and teachers. All got a voice, who the ears that'll listen. Who the ears that'll listen. We the ears that'll listen.
It's on you, tell the truth.
Oh, peace, peace. We have a full house. Everyone, this is the People's Podcast. I am Universe Badger. I'm a integrative holistic health practitioner and herbalist, and I specialize in trauma and somatic mind and body healing. We're the ears that will listen and where your opinion matters. And so does your story. Because you matter tonight. Because you matter. Tonight's conversation is one that asks each of us to pause, reflect, and look beyond the surface. Our episode is called Traffic. Look before you cross. Originally, I apologize, I had to mute some mics. Look before, I totally apologize. Tonight's conversation. our episode is Traffic. Originally, we were scheduled to interview a guest whose story is deeply connected to tonight's topic. However, due to an unexpected personal situation, she is unable to join us. Out of respect for her privacy and well being, we've made the decision to postpone her interview until a later date. Sometimes life reminds us that these conversations aren't simply stories we hear, they're reflectives, they're people's realities. They're living in them right now. Tonight isn't about one person's journey, it's about awareness. It's about understanding that behind every statistics is a human being. Behind every headline is a life. Behind every difficult choices is often a story we've heard. Taken Take the time to understand. At this time, awareness also asks something of us. It asks us to recognize that every life has value and that while we can have compassion for someone's circumstances, we don't have to glorify the choices that continue to place people in harm's way. Our goal tonight isn't to judge. Our goal is to learn. Our goal is to become more aware so that we can become a little more compassionate, a little more understanding, and perhaps make a difference in someone else's life. Golden Eagle, can you read the deeper meaning?
Absolutely. Sometimes the greatest act of compassion is on the truth of love. We live in a world where crime is often turned into entertainment. Violence becomes a movie. Trafficking becomes a headline. Street life becomes a lifestyle. People sometimes romanticize. But real life isn't a movie. Real people are hurt. Real families grieve. Real children are exploited. Real men and women struggle to find a way out.
Can I pause you? Can I have you leave and come back because you're going in and out?
Okay.
This is really important. So we're going to finish this as soon as you come back in because this needs to be heard. This message needs to be shared. Can you start from the top? Nope, you're still in and out.
Really? It's about the background noise. Dogs barking. Mine looking back. Everybody's checking. Either that or I'm far from the Wi-Fi. Can you hear me now?
Only every other word.
I mean, I can go again if you want. I don't know what else. Yeah.
So I want to say peace, peace to everyone. Peace, peace, divine creation.
Peace, peace. How you doing?
All is truly well. Peace, peace, Kendall Cobb.
Hiya, glad to be here.
Peace, peace, Ray.
Peace, peace. How you doing?
All is truly well.
Good.
Okay,
Like,
just try now.
can you hear me?
Yep, try it.
Sometimes this act of compassion is telling the truth with love. I'm sorry. Hopefully you can hear me over this guy in his car. We live in a world where crime is often turned into entertainment. Violence becomes a movie. Trafficking becomes a headline. Street life becomes a lifestyle. Sometimes romanticized. But real life isn't a movie. Real people are hurt. Real families grieve. Real children are exploited. Real men and women struggle to find a way out. The fight is about pretending these things don't exist. It's about refusing to glorify them. Understanding someone's story doesn't mean celebrating a choice.
Do you have your Wi-Fi on?
Yeah.
Shut it off.
Okay.
Try it again.
Rowdy for now, but did that make any difference?
Oh, a little bit. Yep, go ahead.
Okay. Should I over? Or
Dang it.
I don't know
You
where
keep
I
going
was.
in and out. I don't know why. We share the same signal.
I mean, I only have one bar right now,
He was
but
doing that same thing to me a couple weeks ago. Remember?
yeah,
Yeah. It's
Yeah,
yeah,
and
really
you can. Yeah, I tried all
I already
kinds of
take
weird
over where I
stuff,
was.
and I don't think
I got
anything
to
really
come
fixed
back
it.
again, but
yeah, and
if it's
maybe
really
shut your phone off and restart it and
yeah,
try that.
what I'm about to do.
Okay.
Okay.
Let me read this for him until he comes back. Sometimes the greatest act of compassion is telling the truth with love. We live in a world where crime is often turned into entertainment. Violence becomes a movie. Trafficking becomes a headline. Street life becomes a lifestyle people sometimes romanticize. But real life isn't a movie. Real people are hurt. Real families grieve. Real children are exploited. Real men and women struggle to find a way. Tonight isn't about pretending there's that those things don't exist. It's about refusing to glorify them. Understanding someone's story doesn't mean celebrating the choices that continue to place them in danger. Compassion and accountability can exist together. We can believe someone deserves love while also believing they deserve a safer life. Every human has value. So let's have a good conversation. And I'm going to start off by asking this first question to divine creation. When you hear the words human trafficking, what comes to mind and how does that compare to the reality many people experience?
I really don't have no. It's still unimaginable to me. Like even though I've seen movies and stuff, like still the fact that the stuff actually goes down. Like I don't think I have no correct words that would be for social media.
I can receive that, honestly. How about you, Kendall Cobb? When you hear the words human trafficking, what comes to mind and how does that compare to the reality many people experience?
When it comes to different types of backgrounds, you don't know the environment or the type of abuse that they're going through. You don't know how harsh it can be when it comes to selected for that type of kidnapping or trafficked or being chosen to, where you have no choice. Sometimes it just happens, and if you can't get out of it. So when it comes to a whole bunch of being selected or just dealing with a whole bunch of situations that just happens, how do you get out of it? How do you save yourself?
I can receive that. How about you, Ray? When it comes to when you hear the words human trafficking, what comes to mind, and how does that compare to reality many people experience?
Well, when that comes to my mind, that's the worst sin you could do is hurt a child. That's like the unforgivable sin right there. I mean, that's should be punishable by death if you ever caught one of them. I mean, the reality is like what she said. I mean, if it happens, it fucking happens. I mean, it's a part of life. It is what it is. Just hope that maybe you can outrun them and you can catch them and beat them to death.
Okay.
But that's unforgivable. That type of shit there.
How about this? When you hear the word human trafficking, what comes to mind, and how does that compare to reality many people experience? And if you can't say it, can you type it in the comments and we can read it, or try to say it? Let's try.
What comes to mind when I hear the word trafficking of slavery? It's
No,
disgusting.
we can't hear you.
No.
It's popcorn. Sad. Um, them are the things that we can't control. We can't control The only thing we can control is ourselves. We can't control the internet. We can't control connection. We can't control circumstances that happen in people's lives. When I hear the word human trafficking, what comes to my mind, I don't think just children. I think people. I mean, at the end of the day, it is someone's child. You are always somebody's child. Yet, it's sad, and it sometimes it is people's reality, and it sometimes it's not circumstances. Sometimes it's not because you put yourself in that bad position. Sometimes it is what it is. Like sometimes you can get kidnapped or whatnot, and I don't want to talk too deeply on it. It's just that the awareness has to be brought upon it, and it has to make a difference. Somebody has to stop. Somebody has to make a difference in this world and become different. Divine creation, why do you think society often notices trafficking only after tragedy instead of recognizing the warning signs beforehand?
Cause everybody tell everybody to mind their business. Nobody wants to be looking like a creep. Nobody wants to look like they're being nosy. Nobody wants to look like none of that stuff. So and they're too busy worried about their own self. So obvious, this stuff happens in main public eye now or whatever. It's not even nothing done on a side street anymore. It's done in public because they know people are not paying attention.
Nah. Solo Boogie says, we have to come together as a community and nation to protect one another. And that's so true. So true. Are you back with us, Golden Eagle?
Trying. Can you hear me this time?
Yeah, better. When you hear the words human trafficking, what comes to mind, and how does that compare to reality many people experience?
I mean, when it comes to slavery, it's disgusting. I don't even have the words for it. It's yeah. Especially when kind of like we were saying, especially when it comes to young children, there's nowhere, no lower, nothing lower than a kid, man. It's just a horrible thing.
Try your Wi-Fi now and see if it makes a difference.
It's on right now.
It's
Phone,
on.
for some reason, I got better right now. So
Maybe you have an update.
that might be.
I don't know. That's weird. Um, why do you think society often notices trafficking only after a tragedy instead of recognizing the warning signs beforehand? Golden
You
Eagle.
got me?
Yeah.
Why do I think? I need to say that again. Why do I think society would often notice the tragedy after tragedy instead of recognizing the warnings before? I think a lot of people don't know the warning signs. I mean, I personally don't. Obviously, when I see something that seems a lot, I know it, but I don't know that would just go my gut. So,
Ugh, the signal is terrible. It is not your fault neither. Today has
yeah,
been an odd day.
yeah. I was just saying, I think a lot of us don't know the warning signs.
Do you wanna leave and use voice text in the comments, and we'll read them?
Yeah, I have to go to Facebook.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you. So, Kendo, why do you think society often notices trafficking only after tragedy instead of recognizing the warning signs beforehand?
I think it's because we ignore the signs until it's too late, until it happens to you. Until that happens, then what do you do afterwards? We ignore it too much.
How about you, Ray?
I
Why
mean,
do
the
you
way it
think?
is now, to be honest with you, there really aren't signs. I mean, yes, there's your obvious shit. Is there a white van sitting somewhere or blah, blah? You know what I'm saying? But it's not. that stuff happens so fast and out of the blue because you're living life. I mean, you know what I mean? It's not like it's some big productive scene that you can prevent. Really, you know what I'm saying? There really aren't signs for it. You know, people are just going about their daily lives. I mean, you can't, every time somebody walks within 20 feet of you, try to scan their face and lock it into memory. I mean, it's just, there really are no signs.
Golden Eagle said, I think a lot of us don't know the signs. They don't know what they are. And that's so true. And like Ray said, that sometimes there isn't no signs. What I've noticed lately, though, is that people are longing for connection so much that they are putting themselves in harm's way just to receive that connection. They are putting themselves in situations that they shouldn't. Solo Boogie said, they're getting smarter every day. Yeah, yeah. The bad's winning every day, is getting smarter and smarter ways of trying to target people. And like people meeting people over video games online. And I met a lot of people in my life. Like more than 75% of people I know in my life is because of online. Swear. And a lot of people I've never ever met in person. I've never met them in person. It's only been from online. So I want to read a message really quick about the lady that we were supposed to interview tonight. And I'm going to read pieces of this. It says, my name is Moonlight, and my life is no different from anyone else's who has walked through the fires of trauma and abuse. My mother was so young when she brought me into this world, trapped inside her own cycle of abuse and trauma with someone close to her from her own childhood. Tragically, that cycle bled into our family and to me, and her abusers became my abusers. From there, I just compounded abuse by family and friends, by family friends, by people who my own father brought around. It is a relentless, vicious cycle within the system. But what breaks my soul the most is realizing that very people you were told to turn to as a child for safety are the exact same people that helped someone abuse you and make you become a victim. How is that fair? Is that right? It makes the entire system contradict itself. How can predators walk free while others suffer? My dream was simple: to learn how to live, how to be happy, and how to be a stay-at-home mom, cooking, cleaning, and watching little humans grow into amazing, beautiful people. Is that the absolute? I want them to do their best and be the best humans in this world. I would choose that over anything, but life kept knocking me down. I had to step up and make impossible choices to protect my children. Because human trafficking is real, horrific, and happening right in front of our eyes, I recently had to stand up, testify, and help secure a guilty plea against a monster, even though it put me right in the crosshairs. At 39 years old, I am still fighting my own flashbacks and the heavy shadows of my childhood abuse. The trauma never fully leaves you. You just learn to survive and fight for something better. We have to open our eyes. We cannot keep turning our heads away when we hear screams outside, or when we see a child who is terrified and screaming out for help without words. We cannot ignore a system that breaks our rights, denies counsel during a mental health crisis, and punishes the vulnerable while letting the abuser slip away. We have to be better. We have to speak out, protect our children and our elderly, and throw away the hate. Our children are our future, and if we keep looking the other way, what kind of world are we living and leaving them? Stop letting fear keep you silent. Speak up, fight for what is right, and let's stand by choosing love. That's powerful. And that's what it is, you know. People are choosing the wrong things in life, and people don't realize that we are putting ourselves in danger by looking for connection, by wanting to be accepted, by wanting to feel like we belong. Kendall said, can you act friendly and play the roles, or trusting the wrong people without even realizing it? And people do trust the wrong people without realizing it. You're supposed to, you feel, this is what you feel. And I'm going to say from personal experience, it not because I know everybody's feelings, but your parents, the ones that help bring you into this world, you look at them as safety. You look at them as protection. You look at them as a safe place, and not realizing them are the ones that also victimize you. I know from my own personal experience because my biological mom touched me, and she allowed other men to take away my own safety as a child for her own pleasure of being accepted by them. So this hits home. The story hits home in a lot of ways because I remember. I don't know if all you do, Ray May. When Yahoo first came out, they had the chat, and I met a lot of people off of Yahoo chat, and I was able to meet strangers. This was before MySpace and everything, and as a young child with a child, I sold all my stuff and was going to move somewhere with someone that couldn't even speak English just to be wanted and accepted and loved. And I could have put myself in that position many of times, many a times by doing dumb things. So, divine creation. What's the difference between having compassion for someone's circumstances and glorifying the lifestyle that keeps them trapped?
Um, what is the difference?
Yeah,
When you start praising what they doing, once you praising what they doing, you pretty much approving of how they handling the situation instead of praising that they getting out of it. In my opinion or whatever, I praise them for making a move, for getting out of the situation that they're in, but I still let them know that I don't believe that, now find another way or whatever, find some more alternatives than the one you choosing. I don't know, versus coming all out and just saying they wrong and now they think that I'm inhibiting what they was getting out of or try to use me as a arguing point, like, oh, you just want me to go back to what I was dealing with, rather they using that as an excuse or not or whatever. You have to try to find a way to. Yeah, I believe once you start praising what they're doing to get out of the situation, that's when you start supporting that habit.
I agree. Um, Max the Misfit, my lovely, I adopted him to the universe. He said, prayers to anybody dealing with these types of situations. And Solo Boogie said, I agree. Kendo, what's the difference between having compassion for someone's circumstances and glorifying the lifestyle that keeps them trapped?
Oh, that's a hard one. Compassion is just trying to give support versus you see something wrong, but you can't give support the right way. It's the type of realization where you need to learn how to back off when you need to.
Oh, yeah. Divine Creation, are you back with us?
I'm trying. Can you hear me now?
Yeah. What's the difference between having compassion for someone's circumstances and glorifying the lifestyle that keeps them trapped?
Oh, what's the difference between having compassion for the circumstances and glorifying? Obviously, you can't give praise to things you don't agree with. Um, obviously, being compassionate, that's just just a matter of showing love and expressing. I mean, I think the essence of being compassionate, you have to encourage them to do better. For themselves. Because really, nobody else can do it for them, regardless of who it is, which way things are in. Nobody can make it better for them. They have to. It's for us as individuals to make things better for ourselves. So you have to just show positive to yourself, and do it with love.
Yeah, I agree. How about you, Ray? What's the difference between having compassion for someone's circumstances and glorifying the lifestyle that keeps them trapped?
Well, you got to look at it from one perspective that there are individuals who are living that type of a lifestyle that want to do anything but glorify it because there's no glory in it. So the ones who are glorifying it, that's wrong. I guess if you want to say where does compassion come in, you there's people who things like that are sometimes the only way that they can survive. So it's not a glorified, do wrong show for the world. Like, look at how big my nuts are. It's like some people got to eat. You know what I mean? And that's just life, whether you want to agree with me or not. I mean, I don't give a fuck. But there is nothing to glorify about it. I don't agree with glorifying any of that shit. Anytime I ever did any of that, you're doing it because you have to, and you want to get away from it as fast as you possibly can. You're not trying to do this, so you know what I'm saying. When you're glorifying it, it almost kind of makes it look fake. Because anybody that's really doing that stuff doesn't want to do it, and that's what people don't realize. Is people don't want to do that shit, but sometimes that's their only choice. So
I feel contrary to that. I feel like as soon as we tell ourselves we have to, when we set ourselves in that mind state, then we're putting ourselves into the thought that we have to. That is, we don't have choice. There's always more than one way to skin a cat. There's more than one way to get food.
Half of what you said we can't hear.
You know?
Well, half of what you said we can't hear.
Man, this is a good one too. I'm out.
What's the difference between compassion for someone in circumstances and glorifying the lifestyle that keep them trapped? I'm going to say it this way. The person that tried taking my life twice, a week apart, people can tell me, I apologize that happened to you. I wish it didn't happen to you, sympathy and whatnot. But if I kept myself in that situation and I kept letting that guy in my life and I kept him there, then at the end of the day, there's no need to have compassion for me because I am not changing my circumstances. I am still living in that situation regardless. Granted, some people have no choice, but at the end of the day, when it comes to your life and your love for yourself, you do have a choice. There's a difference between compassion and saying, do better, do better, do better, do better. And I did do better, even if I was homeless in my vehicle and barely eating. So I want to read this real quick. And next said, Compassion can be understanding, but you can also have to set boundaries. Coming from me, who's been on both ends, you can hope all day for someone to do different. But if you indulge, and that's what I was saying. So if you indulge or glorify it from them for them in any way, they can mess around and drag you down. Then you have to make a decision to either become part of the problem or respectfully give them distance. If what you are trying to accomplish positively isn't sticking with them or their movements. And that's what I agree completely. And then Golden Eagle said, I was just saying I feel contrary to what Ray was saying because I believe the minute we start telling ourselves we have to, we're closing our minds to other possibilities and options. And possibility and options, and there's always a choice. There's always more than one way to skin a cat. There's always more than one way to get food. There's always more than one way to get money. You always have a choice. You always have a choice. And I agree. That's what I was saying, you know.
And I agree too. And sometimes you have that choices. There's more than one way to get money. Sometimes, some people can't get jobs. So some people had nothing, didn't have shit, didn't have a pair of shoes 18 months ago. There wasn't nobody trying to hire me to do the right thing. So I did what I had to get. And damn it, I got the hell out of it as quick as I could. And I started a business and I started a publishing company. And I started writing books. I started making music. So I got the fuck, excuse me, I'm choking. But I got the fuck away from it immediately, as quick as I could. But for a minute, who was going to take care of me? Were you going to take care of me? Were any of y'all going to, pay rent for me and put clothes on my back the first 8-9 months I was out of prison? Hell no. So who's going to do that? Me. You don't want to hire me. So what am I going to do? I'm not going to sit around homeless and starving. I'm not going to do that. I'm not glorifying human trafficking and going out killing people and beating up women and shit. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about basic things that sometimes people need to do to survive. So I'm not glorifying this extreme shit. I'm not talking about that.
Right.
I'm talking about a fucking life. This is my life. You know what I'm saying? You are, you read the headlines. Well, I buried the fucking bodies. So I know what that choice is like, and I know what that life is like, and I know that I had no other option. And I did look what I've done in that amount of time to get up out of it. But sometimes that is your only option, and ain't nobody gonna ever tell me any different.
And Golden Eagle said exactly, Ray. You made different choices, and that's the difference between compassion and glorifying. You weren't glorifying what you had to do. And that's why you did different. Granted, that's what you had to do at that time, but you made a choice to become different and do different.
Yeah, of course, absolutely.
And that's the difference between glorifying and having compassion.
Yeah, I agree. That's a good point.
Yeah.
Good point.
So, divine creation, movies like Godfather, Goodfellas, Bonnie and Clyde have become culture classics. Why do you think people are drawn to stories about crime while often overlooking the real victims and consequences behind that kind of lifestyle?
I have personally never watched none of them, but I would assume because the bad guy is, he came from a situation similar to the people that's watching it, and he came from something to nothing or whatever, and the way that we look at it anyway or whatever. Well, most people, we in the hood to die anyway. We in the ghetto to die anyway. We in the slums. We in the whatever, just to pass off anyway. So if I can, if I can pull 5 to 6 good years out to reminisce on, it was all worth it. So they look at the run he made and said, boy, I'd rather do that for 5 or however many years they lasted in the movie for decades versus being in the slums trying to live the pursue the dream, as the declaration say, the pursuit of happiness, when you can take happiness by the horns and hold it, even if it is just for a little bit of time.
Okay. How about you, Kendall Cobb? When it comes to movies like The Godfather and Goodfellas and Bonnie and Clyde, they have become culture classics. Why do you think people are drawn to those stories about crime while often overlooking the real victims and consequences behind their lifestyles?
Basically, it's to do with fantasy. It's like I'm glad I didn't make that choice. Why did I do that? Or just the fact it's a good storyteller. You can relate to certain situations that you wish you didn't face or did face. It's also like a mind filler for a good storyline if it's true or not. I usually watch a lot of type of based on true stories where it's relatable. But when it comes to actually dealing with real situations, that's two different things versus movies and life. Things actually happen.
I can receive that. How about you, Ray?
Say the question. Like, I know you're talking about the movies, but
Uh-huh.
repeat the question.
Why do you think people are drawn to the stories about crime while often overlooking the real victims and consequences behind those lifestyles?
Well, most people look at it, to them, that's a fantasy life. So that's, they're being entertained. They're not looking at it from that kind of a depth because they don't live that life. So to them, it's a fantasy life. It's a story on TV, like that they're fascinated by. It's human nature.
Okay. I'm thinking also because of the ideal of putting themselves in that situation. If I could, doesn't mean I would, but that thrill of it. A lot of people do things for a thrill. They go get the next drug that almost tried to kill somebody because they want to reach that high. They go and I don't think they think of the consequences when they do certain things. I put myself in a lot of different situations because I wanted love. I wanted acceptance. I wanted to feel like for my whole life, I wanted someone to say to me, I love you the way that you love. And because I wanted that so bad and I wanted that fairy tale ideal of it, that I allowed different individuals to come into my life that had no business entertaining it at all. Because I wanted to be accepted. I wanted to be wanted for who I was, not because of how I looked, because of who I was. And how about you? What are you going to say, divine creation?
I also believe that subconsciously, a lot of people are freaking monsters, and that's the reason why they fascinate the wild movies so much, because if it wasn't no consequences behind this shit, they would do it.
They be
I
doing
really believe if we messed around and had like actually had a purge day, we would see so many white collars and it'll be so many other people we would not think that would be so excited it was a real purge day.
Oh, they would love you. They be going nuts. Boy,
Now,
Like,
freaking
I
respectfully,
think I
Bobby
would
and
be
Paul and
hiding if
Jimmy
it
are
was,
all going to get together in the truck and
yeah, if it was a
tear
real
shit up.
purge day, I think I might just hide out. I'd be like, yo,
and respectfully,
yo, the preacher has lost his mind, yo.
Oh god.
respectfully, out of love, divine creation, you know damn well you ain't on a couple people's list.
Sir, I got some questions.
Staying home, man. We staying home,
You
man.
know damn well you be on a couple people's list. You'd have to go underground. And that's what it is too. I think it's because a lot of people, their demons, it's fun. I'm telling you, I put myself in different situations and entertained that dark side because it was exciting. it fulfilled a lot of things that I lacked in life. And then when I realized it almost took my life, I had to do different. But I wanted that. I wanted that to feel wanted and loved and appreciated. That I accepted a lot of things that I shouldn't have accepted. How can communities, families, schools, businesses, and healthcare professions become more aware without responding from fear? And what I want to say first is listen. Listen when someone speaks up and says it happened to me too. A lot of people, they called my mom up and told my mom the things that I was telling them. This is my school. Counselors calling my mom up and sharing the things that I said in secrecy about what was going on with me at home with the villain, with the perpetrator. And the more that I said I was going to call somebody for help, the worse it got for me. So listen, not with the thought that you have a way to fix it, but listen with compassion so you can be the one that heard someone speak on it. And then try to fix it or help them fix it or something, but listen. How about you, divine creation? How can communities, families, schools, businesses, and healthcare professions become more aware about responding from fear?
Actually get out into the community. Um, instead of sitting in that office, at least like, DSS and stuff like that. Sitting in that office just waiting on a phone call ain't gonna cut it. You know, just checking up at the house just to basically draw intimidation ain't gonna cut it. Is the simple things that everybody miss out on or whatever. Is just all simple now. Whatever. I'm pretty sure a lot of DSS cases are handled over virtual videos. They ain't even physically seen the parents or nothing or whatever. It's like the whole world is just out of touch. It's worse than what it was bad when I was a kid or whatever. You knew they didn't care when I was a kid. So
Yeah,
we 80 babies and lower. So
yeah,
you
yeah. It's
know,
the hell by now. I know that.
yeah.
Yeah,
You know what I've noticed too? A lot of things are paperwork. And granted, the paperwork is how you get paid, but you forget about the compassion behind the person that's there behind that paperwork. Doctors cannot sit in a room longer than a certain amount of time. They no longer care about the care of a resident. Even in facilities, it's almost borderline abuse that we have to do to get in and out in time to ourselves and to the people that we're taking care of, because it's all about paperwork. It's all about you only have this much time, da, 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 it's money, it's money, it's money, it's money, it's money. Everybody's looked at as dollar sign, and nobody's looking at it as a person. And you could be the one that make a difference. You could be the one to save a life. Kendall, how can communities, families, schools, and businesses and healthcare professionals become more aware without responding from fear?
Um, Good question. Get the knowledge that's needed, and then go from there.
Ray, how can everybody, all those people?
you said it between you and SDF, or I'm sorry,
Divine
between
creation.
y'all. Yeah, between y'all, you summed it up basically. So
Okay.
I just etc. to y'all's comment basically.
How about this, Ray? What are some warning signs people should know now that many indicates someone is being exploited or controlled?
Well, I mean, you got to try to. Yeah, I mean, if you can try to help people, you got to try to help people for real. I mean, this thing, you be a decent person in the world if you want decent shit done back to you. So, yeah, I'm gonna try. If I can help somebody out in a situation like that, I'm gonna help them out. If whatever that is, I mean, all people should be like that. You know what I
Do
mean?
people know about 411? Do you know what 411 is, Ray?
I mean, I've heard of, but I don't know like what it officially is now. I know it's like an information thing back in the day.
No. Kendall, I want you to search 411 and tell us what it is. Please. SGF Graham. How
Why they
can
just
go ahead? Do you know what it is?
why y'all just can't say help instead of doing this 411 signal stuff?
Because
Why
they're
can't
kids.
y'all say get him up off me? Like this
Kid,
man is not finna do nothing to y'all in public. I
they're
don't know
kids.
what y'all think that he's about to do. Well, I don't care what he has to y'all back to keep y'all quiet at that moment. That man whole objective is to get away. It is not to do anything to you right there. If y'all don't grab the next person to y'all and say help, that man ain't gonna do nothing.
I was told that if I tell, then my sister would pay for it.
Man.
I was
Tell
told
how was he gonna pay for it if he going to jail?
it doesn't matter. As a child, I don't know the difference.
Okay, but yeah. I'm not talking about as a child or what, because I don't even think a child gonna do the 411 thing or whatever. I'm talking about the adults that be going around and doing that. Like I don't even think a child is gonna do it, even if you teach a child.
When I was younger, and not even younger, as an adult, I was in this survival mindset, and I allowed somebody to manipulate my own thoughts and whatnot because I thought I had no other way. I didn't love myself enough, and I didn't realize that I deserved better. I didn't have the courage. I didn't have the confidence. I didn't have the will. Now I wish somebody would. But at the time, I was such a weak minded person for being stuck in survival that I accepted so many things.
That's what I'm saying. I don't feel that 411 crap should be taught anymore. I think lack of fear. I think the bravery of just saying this person is this person just boldly like is kidnapping you in public. Well, but he's trying to do it as discreet as possible. Oh, you are really? Oh, okay. Hey, what are you doing? Well, I promise you, he's gonna walk off like he wasn't even bothering you or whatever. Like I don't understand that now. If a child was to do it, that'd be amazing to me. Whatever like I don't know what tactic besides scream that I would teach a child or whatever. But like these quiet subliminal things that are taught, saying from a man's standpoint, he's gonna flee. He's gonna separate himself from that soon as the loudness starts.
Mhm.
Whoever,
Yeah.
cause it's over with. There's no more getting away with what you was trying to do. You
Now we
wasn't trying to. You wasn't trying to delete that person. You was trying to get away with that person. That's dead now. So now I just got to get away so I can find somebody else. But like you got to be brazen in that situation. We got to be brazen. I see somebody doing some 411 at the most. I'm a watch. I might also feel that I was wrong about what I just saw. So I might
I'm not
watch
even
from a
sure I'm not even sure I understand what 411
I'm gonna
is.
have Kendall read it. Kendall,
Yeah,
do you
I don't
have
even
it?
know what it is.
Yes, I just found it. I apologize for the delay there for a sec.
It's all right. What is it?
So the formal one is a little bit different than Canada and the USA. It's basically calling for help in a helpline. So it's like a 411 versus 911 or 211, 311. There's a whole different selection of numbers you can call for any type of emergency that's needed.
So
That's
it
what
is
I thought it was too. Some kind of
it
call
is
line.
it is a hotline, but a lot of people do the signals too because that means they want help. Instead of saying writing a note saying help or mouthing the word help, they just do.
Oh,
And
I
that
see what it is. Yeah, you better yell that shit out. Help! He's trying to get me. Don't be passing notes. You better
But
say what's
it's
going
not
on.
even a note. They just do the finger numbers now.
Yeah, no, no. I think
And that's because
you better start screaming.
it's a mind state. It's a mind state. Weakness is a mind state, and some people allow themselves to feel like they are allow somebody else to have control over themselves.
Yeah, because the quieter it is, the more that's edging him like he's thinking he's getting away with something. You know what I mean? And that's just getting him closer to his goal. I mean, you should start screaming and alert, because the minute that starts screaming, he's taking off. Like what he said. You do the quiet stuff and you're just making him think that everything is cool. And he's like slowly getting away with this. And he just done snatched this little girl up while y'all was still on signal number 3 of 5. You know what I mean?
Okay,
When
so I'm gonna do this for awareness because this show is getting a big, huge amount of reach. And we have people are going to talk about our show on their platform. They just reached out to me yesterday and they want our information because of what this show does for this world, and we are making a difference. I want to say though, there is warning signs, and I do want to name some of the warning signs off. Granted, even though men are saying, do something different, some people don't know. Some people can't. Some people feel trapped. Some people believe that somebody else has the ability to control over their life. We had an individual, and I'm not going to name names. We had an individual that allowed someone to manipulate them so much that they felt like they couldn't even breathe without that person's permission. It happens. It happens when we lose the control and the mindset. It happens. It does. It granted, I mean, I wish it didn't, and I really wish that there was a different outcome, but it does. Kendall, what are some of the warning signs?
Do I need to name them about the back for what I know, or do I look them up?
Nope, you can look them. Oh, you're gonna name them off. What you know?
It's basically a type of fear. If you feel triggered or if you have that certain look and you feel like something's off, you always go with your instincts. If someone's lashing out and they're afraid to speak up, then you ask them, "Are you okay?" And you say, "Hey, how's it going? I'm just here to check in on you. Is something all right or is something up?" You got to say something. If you see something, say something.
So I'm gonna name off some of these warning signs, and I'm gonna copy some of them because I want the world to know. I really do want the world to know because sometimes, like I said, people are in a state of mind where they don't have the strength or the willpower. They think that they have no other choice but to accept it. So some of the warning signs are a person seems fearful, anxious, unusual, submissive around someone else. They appear to have a little control over where they go, who they talk to, or how they spend their time. Isolation is a warning sign. When they isolate you from your families, when they don't want you to work, they don't want you to talk to other people, when someone insists on speaking for you instead of never letting you speak, or they don't want to leave you alone. They suddenly are withdrawn, like this says, from family, friends, school, and work. They show signs of physical abuse, manipulation, exhaustion, malnourished, untreated medical needs. They have unexplained injuries and seem fearful to discuss them. The lack people identify money, control over their own belongings. They describe working long hours for little to no pay, and they can freely leave their work or living situations. Yet they don't. They appear to be living where they work under someone else's control. They express feelings of hopelessness and believe they have no safe way to leave. So please pay attention to those signs. Please ask someone if they're okay and listen. Not listen because you have the answers, not listen to respond, but sometimes maybe you're the only safe place they have. If someone listening tonight feels trapped in a dangerous situation, what would you want them to know about their value and their ability to seek help? Divine creation.
Say that question again.
If someone listening tonight feels trapped in a dangerous situation, what would you want them to know about their value and their ability to seek help?
Your value is as much as the help that you seek. So get that help ASAP. I can't tell you your value, but if you really value yourself, then you're gonna get whatever help you need, even if it means just a scream. Whatever you got to show me how valuable you are, and I agree with you. But I can't tell you how valuable you are.
I like that. How about you, Ray?
Repeat the question one more time.
If someone listening tonight feels trapped in an dangerous situation, what would you want them to know about their value and their ability to seek help?
Your value is everything. You better hold on to that value because that's what keeps you going. And you better reach out to somebody. I mean, I don't know. I would hope somebody that knows me, if you're in that situation, reach out to me. I'm gonna help you. You best believe I'm gonna help you if I can. I mean, your value is everything. You're obviously valuable. This person wants you so much. If you weren't valuable, then these people wouldn't be trying to control you. That should show you your value right there.
I like to think that I can speak for everyone when I say, because we are 24/7 advocacy of abuse in drugs and alcohol. If you feel like you have no choice and no one to speak to, reach out to anybody here on this platform, because you are not alone. And even if you feel like you have no choice, there's always a choice. There's always a choice. I told a few people that I rather speak to you another time than read your obituary. Call me. I don't care if it's 3, 4, 5, 6 o'clock in the morning. 9 times out of 10, I'm up because I don't sleep normal. I will listen because we are the ears that will listen. And the only reason why your story matters, because you matter. And if no one's ever told you that, you need to tell yourself that, because you can't save somebody else's life if you can't save your own. Kendall, if someone listening tonight feels trapped and in dangerous situations, what would you want them to know about their value and their ability to seek help?
You're not worth this. You are valued as well. If you know something, say something. Speak up. Get out of there. It is not safe. It is not worth your life. Your life is more worth than getting killed.
Kendall was a young child, and I don't want to speak too much out of church because it's not my place. A young child that went after somebody with a screwdriver to save herself. Do what you got to do. Do what you got to do, because at the end of the day, you are the most important person in your life. Because if you didn't exist, neither would your life to you, and someone loves you. SGF Graham, what does looking before you cross mean to you beyond traffic? How can that ideal apply to choices we make for the lives that we build?
Uh, Nothing's 100% proof. You can look both ways crossing the street and miscalculate that car moving 100 miles an hour on a 30-mile-per-hour road and you thought you could cross the street. I look at life the same way. You got to know where you're going. You got to know your surroundings. You got to look around you. Nothing's 100%, but 80% is better than 0%. You know, I'd rather be 80% correct. You know, that way, when I do notice that only one car that does have a possible chance of hitting me, or that one person has a possible chance of snatching me up or whatever, I can get in defense. I can get in that mind frame because I'm already aware of my surroundings. You know, it might be a man thing because, I used to say it thinking it was just me, and then every man would be like, yeah, I'm the same way. You know, if it's two women going out to eat together, then the most assertive woman need to have her face facing the door. The whoever is the more assertive out of the two or out of the bunch, that's the one that need to be facing the door. Or whatever, your man need to be facing the door. Like, you need to know your exits to get away. You need to know, if you're out in the surroundings, if you're at a parade and somebody was to walk up on you, which direction you're gonna go to flee. If you out somewhere by yourself, then hey, you might want to look up at the street light and see if it's a camera right there and post up right up under the camera. That way, at least, there's a time stamp if something happens. Whatever. I hate to think like that now, or whatever, but it's not a lot of people, but you got 70% of America living in 30% of America.
Mm,
So even though it's not a lot of bad people, it's so concentrated, it looks like it is. So you got to be proactive.
Kendall, what does looking before you cross mean to you besides traffic? How can that ideal apply to the choices we make and live the lives that we build?
Firstly, slow the heck down. You want to get hit by a stupid car. It happens on a yearly basis with me. My gosh, I lost track of how many times I almost got hit. But anyways, stupid Bambi. Um, yeah, just be subconscious of your surroundings, no matter the outcome.
Okay. Ray, what does look before you cross mean to you beyond traffic? How can that ideal apply to the choices that we make and the lives that we build?
It's like playing chess. It's exactly what it is. That's what life is. That you've heard the cliche. Life is like a game of chess. Look both ways. The same thing as being a step ahead. Make sure you're aware of your surroundings, understand the situation, and know ahead of time what's coming for you. So look up, look everywhere. So yeah, basically where.
So, so for me, I used to do traveling massages, and I'd meet people in places like hotels or their house or anything like that, right? I made sure I had somebody that they knew where I was going, who was at the house, the address of the house, the person's phone number, and what time I got there and when I'd be leaving constantly. And that has saved me so many times. I've even had one of my simpatico call me up during the event. During I was giving somebody a massage after I was done with them. She called me up and this guy had me up against the wall, backed up in there. And she called me just in the right times for me to and I answered it. And I was like, I let her know everything that was going on, that he was leaving and I was getting ready to leave and stuff like that. And I explained it all. And because of that because of that happened that time, it protected me. It saved me. You know, beer mace is fine and all this other stuff, but at the end of the day, be aware of your surroundings. Let people know where you're going. Let them know who you're meeting. Let them know how when you're getting there, when you're leaving. And then I got my dog. And man, my dog made a huge difference. Those that don't know that my dog's a huge baby, just by looking at my dog, they're intimidated. And I'm grateful for that. And I took my dog with me inside their house and under their table while I was given under the massage table. I was giving massages because I wish somebody would. I don't know if my dog would defend me, but I've never had to worry about it. So pay attention. People are so busy in wanting clicks and likes and views and appreciation and all this other stuff so they can come up. And just because somebody doesn't know your struggles and that you barely have anything and you're barely making ends meet, because you don't show it, they think that you got it. And because they don't got it, they want it. And stop flashing things for attention because you're going to get the wrong attention. And that includes your body, that includes your money, that includes things that you think you have. It's not worth it. And then I'm going to read this. This is Golden Eagle's part, and it's called The Reflection. Awareness isn't simply seeing what sin. What? Oh, my eyes were playing tricks on me. Awareness isn't simply seeing what is in front of us, it's recognizing that every choice carries a direction. Tonight wasn't about pointing fingers, it was about remembering that every person deserves dignity, every child deserves protection, and every life is worth more than survival. This, if this conversation has encouraged even one person to pause and ask for help or to offer support or recognize something they may have overlooked, then tonight mattered. So thank you for joining us on in joining the Twisted team in tonight's conversation. They're not always easy, yet they're necessary. Awareness begins with listening, understanding, caring enough to keep the conversation going. Join the Twisted team this Thursday at 8 p.m. as we welcome Rico Rails for Built Different, the journey beyond, or the journey of Rico Rails. Until then, continue choosing awareness, compassion, and love. Before we close tonight's conversation, there's something Golden Eagle and I would like to leave with everyone listening, no matter where you are or no matter where you've been, no matter what choices you've made, no matter what season of life that you're in, please remember this: every life has value. Never forget that your choice matters, and so does your future. Compassion doesn't ignore the truth, it walks beside the truth with understanding and reminds us that every person is capable of choosing a different path. If tonight's conversation has reminded you one person is worth, then this decision has served its purpose. Now let's close with our positive message. Divine creation, what's your positive message?
Come back to me. I ain't even thought about it.
All right. Kendall, what's your positive message?
Just know you are loved no matter what happens in life.
Ray, what's your positive message?
I don't know. I haven't really thought of it. Just, I guess, always try to see the positive in everything because it's always there, whether we want to see it or not. It's always there somewhere. We just got to look hard enough for it sometimes. But just remember, it's always there somewhere.
My positive message is you can't make a difference unless you can become the difference. And don't just worry about saving other people's souls. Worry about your soul. Because if you can't save your life, then you can't try to save somebody else's. Go ahead, divine creation.
Stop thinking about it. If you want to post it, do it. If you got some cool idea that you thinking about, stop thinking about it and do it. You know, um, I get caught a lot of times thinking, and by the time I finish thinking, I realize I don't went days of daydreaming, and I haven't made one physical motion towards what I've been thinking, whatever. So stop thinking about it and just do it.
I want to say one more thing before we wrap this up, because this is a very sensitive subject to me, because it hits home. I was so busy being a people pleaser, looking for love outside of me, and not realizing the most important love that I ever could find would be the one within me. Just know your value, know your worth, and don't listen to the voices that other people say. Listen to the ones, even the dark ones inside your head, because they're there for a reason, even if it is just for protection. They're created for a reason. We created them for a reason. So know your value, please. Thank you again for joining us this evening. May your night be full of positive energy and high vibrations filled with peace and love. Until next time, we're the ears that will listen, and where your opinion matters, and so does your story, because you matter. Regardless of what someone says, you gotta know you matter. Peace, peace, everyone.
Peace, peace.
Peace, peace.
Kendall.
See ya.
Let's get to the bottom of this one. Unspoken truths that I miss one. Tap into the minds of the people, rather acknowledge before I dismiss one. Atheists, Muslim, Christians, Buddhists, they all got usage. All got perspective, it's a collective. Get to the bottom where the truth is, where the heart's uncovered. Where you detox from all of the lies you smothered. Where them tries could have killed you, but with faith you recovered. Yup. Peel off the makeup, we finna take off. Never said it'd be a cakewalk. Meditate till we charged up. Execute goes regardless. Decalcify my pineal. Breaking language barriers, we saw millennials. Planets passing age rotations, down me we owe. So down me we know. Sometimes we can be slow, that's why my ears open. Every drop you add could complete the ocean. Speak up, play your part too. Been vulnerable, it's so